2 days of this. Here, what I
All right, Jonathan, this is Beth. She's going to be demonstrating some of the workouts that I showed you with the towels. She just did a whole class, so she's tired. But she's going to start with mountain climbers. So the towels are directly under her feet. Shoulders are directly under hands. So shift your weight back a little bit, Beth. Right there. Perfect. So she has a nice high plank form. And then she's just going to keep her hips low and move knees to elbows. Go ahead. Good. Keeping her shoulders over her hands the entire time. Good. So she'll do that for 30 seconds with a 10-second rest in between. So come down to your knees and rest. So that's one. She'll do 2 more of those for 30 seconds. Then she'll come onto her mat for 10 count straight leg windshield wipers. So she comes flat to her back. Hands can come out to the side, or she can do cactus arms, which means her arms come to a T and her palms come flat. Top of the hands come flat to the ground. Go ahead, you can come flat to the ground. Yep. And then she pushes her palms up so they don't touch. Good. So she keeps her legs nice and straight, just going side to side as close as she can to the ground without letting her legs touch. And she'll do a 10 count of those. Good. So that's good, Beth. After a 10 count, she'll come back to the towels. Bye, Elizabeth. For crow climbers. So crow climbers is the same idea. Your foot is going to come to the outside of your hand. So she's in a high plank first. From here, right foot comes in a half semicircle up to the right, and then left foot comes out to the left. See how light she is on her toes? So she's doing a good job of being light, pulling her belly button up to the spine, even puffing her back up. Good. So then rest, come down to knees. So she would do that 3 times for 30 seconds with the 10-second rest in between. She'll go back to her mat for windshield wipers. So you saw those already, so you're good with that. Next one's inverted pike. So again, take the time when you do your windshield wipers to really stretch out your shoulders because you're doing a lot of planks here. So she comes into a high plank. Goal here is to get her hips over her shoulders as best she can. So she slowly rides her feet in, light on her toes, and then presses back out into a high plank every time. So she'll come up. Good. Light on her toes, nice and smooth. Good. That's good, Beth. So she'll do 30 seconds of that, 10-second rest in between, 3 times. Next, she'll let her knees come to her mat and put the towels under her hands for kneeling rollout. Kneeling rollout. So on this, you come, so your hips, find your knees directly under your hips first. So even if you come up and stand on your knees, Beth, first, hands come up. Yeah, so you're just standing on your knees. You're nice and level. From there, your toes come up off the ground, and then you get your hands to come to the towels. Okay, so you're pulling the belly button up to the spine the whole time. Shoulders are engaged, and you slowly roll your hands forward, forward, forward as best you can, and then come back in a nice, smooth motion. Good. So a bad one would be, Beth, go too far and have to hit yourself back. So you don't want to have to come back in multiple movements. You want to go out in one smooth stroke and come back smoothly. Yes, good. All right, so she would do 3 sets, 30 seconds with a 10-second rest in between. Good. And then after that, another set of straight leg. Oh yeah, so if you're finding that to be a little easy, you can also bring your hands to a half semicircle slide. You'll get a little bit more of a shoulder and upper body workout. So she's pulling her belly button in and up to get her upper body to come back. She's so light on the towels that if she wanted to, she could go to her fingertips, and that's what would move her. All right, so after that one, another 10 count of windshield wipers, and then she'll come to side slide through. So a high plank, towels come under feet. Find your high plank first. From here, let me just move this real quick. All right, from here, she's in a nice high plank. She slides her feet under the other foot, comes back to center, and then out to the other side. She keeps her hips nice and low here. Good. So she stacks her hips when they get to the side. So hold that there. So her hips are stacked under one another. And then she comes back to center and out to the side. Her arms stay straight the entire time. So straight, straight, straight. Good. All right. So she would do 3 sets of 30 seconds with a 10-second break in between. She'd do 1 more set of windshield wipers. And then the last thing, she would do a 6-inch circuit. So we'll just show them the real quick exercise, like a 5-second snippet of each. So 6-inch circuit, hands can come right under tailbone to protect the low back. Legs are straight and strong. So she lets her feet come 6 inches from the ground. So her heels are 6 inches from the ground. She's pulling her toes back to her face. So pull your toes back a little bit more, lower your legs down if you can a little bit. Right there. So that's a hold, 30 seconds. Then she would do butterflies. Butterflies, legs alternate, so on top of each other. Yep, over and back, over and back. She would do 30 seconds. Then she would do scissor, straight up and down. Slow, slow, 30 seconds. Bicycle. Pull the knees in. So the knees pull into the nose as much as you can, keeping that tailbone flat on the ground, full extension up. Then she would do leg circles. Legs come to 90 degrees first, and they lower down slowly together. Slow, 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 slow. When they get to the bottom, she pulls them in and goes straight up again. And then halfway through, she would change direction. From there, she just does another 30-second 6-inch hold. Good. So once she's done with that, after she's done, she can do a last stretch. So cross your feet, Beth, roll up and over and onto your all fours, and then transition right into a child's pose. So knees come nice and wide on her mat. Her toes touch. And she would just press back. So her butt comes to her heels, and then her arms reach forward. It's just a good stretch to do in between each one to really lengthen out your low back. Stretch out your arms. So that took about 7 minutes for her. If you do all sets, it should take about 25 minutes. Thanks, Beth.